Thank you all for joining us for our Shopify webinar today. My name is Elizabeth Morse, and I'm the event manager here at Cavallo, and I'll be serving as your facilitator today. I have just a little bit of housekeeping to mention before we get started. Today's presentation is going to be about 30 minutes with time for Q&A, so feel free to ask questions at any point throughout the presentation using that Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen, and we will get to all of those at the end of today's webinar. Today's webinar is being recorded, so if you'd like to share what you experienced today with a coworker, colleague, a business connection, you'll be able to do so. And we're super excited to have Evan Lyle from our team as our presenter today. He's our senior sales engineer. He's going to share how integrating your selling software with a full service distribution management solution can save major time and money. So not a bad deal there. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it off and turn it over to Evan.
Awesome. Thank you for the introduction, Elizabeth. Like she mentioned, the topic for today's webinar is around expanding your sales channels with Shopify Point of Sale and how you can leverage SalesPad's e-commerce integration for retail sales during this busy holiday season. And while we'll obviously focus on that retail side of things, we'll also discuss your web store options as well. So as Elizabeth mentioned, my name is Evan Lyle, and I'm a senior sales engineer here at Cavallo. I've been with the team for about 3 years now, and my primary role is to understand customers' needs, challenges, and requirements, and demonstrate how Cavallo's solutions can improve efficiency and profitability through our integrated solutions. On a more personal note, I attended Michigan State University, and in my free time, I enjoy getting outdoors, whether that's hiking, playing golf, or softball, traveling, as well as just spending time with my family and friends. For today's presentation, we'll kick things off with an introduction to Cavallo. I'm sure most of you are familiar with us, but it doesn't hurt to give us just a little bit of background about us. We'll then talk about the benefits of Shopify Point of Sale and that integration with SalesPad and how we simplify processes and boost performance there. We'll then move over to a live demo and demonstrate how Shopify POS integrates with SalesPad for seamless retail as well as web operations. And then we'll open the floor for any questions that anyone might have at the end. So for those of you who aren't as familiar with Cavallo, we were founded in 2003 as SalesPad to help distributors run GP more effectively. And since then, we've helped over 1,000 companies with over 20,000 users, as well as expanded to other ERPs beyond Great Plains. That doesn't mean we're leaving Great Plains behind, though. Our customers leverage our solutions heavily, as represented by our 96% retention rate and 96 Net Promoter Score. To top it all off, we've helped deliver well over $100 million in incremental value to our customers. Taking a look at this next slide here, we're looking at our wheel of products, and you can see how SalesPad allows businesses to fill a number of gaps found in GP. So GP is kind of that base layer. SalesPad will sit right on top of that. And then we offer a number of different solutions from there, from CRM to inventory management to analytics. We really help fill those gaps in GP for distributors. Today, we'll focus on our omni-channel options and more specifically, our e-commerce integrations. Seamless integration really means no e-commerce headaches. And with the holiday season coming up, order volume for online and retail business is likely to skyrocket. While today we'll focus on Shopify and more specifically Shopify POS, we also have connectors to WooCommerce and Adobe Commerce, which is formerly known as Magento. We'll discuss and demonstrate how integrating your e-commerce platform with SalesPad can maximize your online presence this holiday season, as well as year-round. A little bit of background on Shopify POS. It's going to allow you to leverage a Shopify website for your online sales. So using Shopify for that e-commerce and website business while also using the point of sale for your retail business. This will give your business a seamless omni-channel experience with user-friendly interface for your retail and walk-in business. How Shopify or Cavallo and Shopify POS integration can help solve some major issues. By integrating your e-commerce solution with Cavallo, you can really use your ERP as a single source of truth. So you have that seamless, user-friendly point of sale while maintaining all of your customer order and item data within SalesPad and GP. The integration can help eliminate manual touch points and remove any need for an employee to have to rekey information into SalesPad, not only improving efficiency, but removing room for errors. Additionally, it helps you maintain accurate inventory and keep those inventories numbers up to date on your website, so you're not at risk of overselling or running out of stock. Additionally, it helps expand your sales channels and allows your business to reach new markets and expand to new audiences while still getting those efficiency gains out of SalesPad. With that being said, we'll go ahead and flip over into SalesPad and run through a demo of our integration to Shopify and Shopify POS. So what we're looking at on my screen now is the Shopify point of sale. So Shopify point of sale can be run a number of different ways, whether it's their dedicated hardware or something like an iPad or even an iPhone. It makes for a really user-friendly experience. And as you can see here, I can go ahead, I could add customer information, apply discounts, even mark my items as shipped, as well as have some configurable widgets on the home screen and the ability to really customize this. So if you have common items or collection of items that you want to be able to easily add, we can add those tiles, as well as any, maybe we have default coupon codes that we want as tiles here on the home screen. We can really configure that view to make life easy for your counter reps. Additionally, along the bottom, users have the ability to look at past orders as well as products and customers, all here within the Shopify point of sale. When it comes time to check out a customer, we can go ahead and add items to the order. So let's say this customer in front of me has a couple of different items, the Only Hope and the Wisdom Wash. I can go ahead and just click on those widgets to add those to my order. And then additionally, they have that 10% coupon code. In the case of my retail business, maybe occasionally I'm tracking that customer information, occasionally I'm not. If we don't keep track of that customer information, we simply hand the goods off, take payment, and call it good. We could go ahead and continue checkout from there. Perhaps we are shipping goods out to the customer and want to make sure that we keep track of that customer information. From there, I could go in and add the customer detail, and if it's a repeat customer, I could even add search for them, find the corresponding customer, and add them to my order. I can see as I add myself, I've placed 47 orders. I have some of that detail into who this customer is. From there, I can go ahead and check out, and Shopify point of sale will allow you to take payment a number of different ways, and then we can pull that information into SalesPad. So there's no need to reconcile that payment information at the end of day, end of week, whatever our period is there. I'll go ahead and manually key in the credit card information here. And bear with me as I enter a test credit card number, expiration date, as well as that security code. From there, we can charge the credit card, and that will process the payment. And then ultimately, I get a notification that the payment has been approved and my order is complete. If we want to communicate that receipt information, I can also email or text it here directly out of the point of sale. From there, we'll go ahead and move over into my Shopify backend. And in this case, I'm running a couple different channels out of Shopify. So I have my online store as well as my point of sale. And what we're looking at here is just those orders that are flowing in. I can see down here at the bottom, I have a notification that I have one new order. So I'll go ahead and refresh my screen, and I can see today, 2:12 p.m., we have that new point of sale order that just came through with the paid tag, but it's unfulfilled. Perhaps we're sending that information back to a storeroom or maybe the shipping yard where employees are gathering those goods for the customer to walk away. Or we're shipping that information. This allows us to feed that into SalesPad where we can build workflows around our different types of orders there. I'll go ahead and open up SalesPad, and this is where our integration is going to come into play and allow us to feed those orders into SalesPad. If I actually step back into my web store really quick, you may notice a number of my previous orders have a tag of exported to SalesPad. This is how my store manager has that visibility into whether or not those orders are living and have made it into SalesPad yet or not. So I can step into SalesPad, and I really want to just give a high level overview of the integration before we walk through the rest of the process here. So here on the settings tab is really where I can make those definitions for my store that I'm hooking up to, what information I'm importing and what information I'm exporting, and ensure that orders come in and export out with the proper information. Additionally, this is where I can define that order processing tag that gets sent out to those orders when they are imported into SalesPad. Additionally, we have a number of different tabs. I have audit visibility, so insight into any changes that are made to my integration, as well as order import, update export, and void export. So with that order import, we can pull in, automatically sync those orders from our Shopify website, eliminate any need for users to manually rekey that data, which would obviously open up door for order entry error, as well as just simply additional time spent that could be spent on other value-added activities. When it comes time to either export just fulfillment information, maybe we want to export tracking information as well, that's where we can use the order update export to send that information out into Shopify. Finally, the order voided export allows us to export the void and cancel out and void the order on Shopify if for some reason we do need to cancel an order here in SalesPad or GP. We have two additional automation jobs within the Shopify integration, including the product export, allows businesses to seamlessly roll out new products. And then finally, the inventory level export, which allows me to maintain those accurate inventory numbers on my website so that we are not overselling and avoiding any stockouts. I'll flip over into the order export, and one last feature that's worth calling out before we do run the integration is mentioning the ability to set an automation schedule. So for demo purposes today, I'm going to manually be running the integration, but the goal is to make this as seamless as possible, removing those manual touch points, and that's where the automation schedule comes into play. Businesses have the ability to set a holistic automation schedule or just a custom schedule for each individual component. So say we want to import and export order information every 5 to 15 minutes, we could set our own custom schedule for that, as well as schedules for the inventory level export and product export. So we have the ability to make it highly configurable and set those custom schedules for each and every component here within the Shopify integration. I'm going to go ahead and manually run my order import. And what this will do is speak out to Shopify, look for any outstanding orders within our web store, whether they're coming from online or the point of sale, and then ultimately pull those in based on our mapping and matching settings. I can see the integration took 14 seconds to run. It attempted to import 3 different orders, and all 3 of those were successful. If I flip over into my Shopify store really quick, I can see we had 3 orders without that exported to SalesPad tag. And if I refresh really quick, all 3 of those orders now have that exported to SalesPad tag applied, allows our online store manager to understand, okay, those are now within our ERP. They have yet to be fulfilled though. Stepping back into SalesPad, I'll move into my sales monitor. And this is really where I'm going to get that visibility into those orders that are coming from our web store, where they are in our fulfillment process, if we are shipping those orders out to customers online, or if we're just simply fulfilling those orders as the customer walks in. I'll go ahead and refresh. And as I refresh, I see we have those 3 new orders, 1077, 1078, and 1079, that were sitting out online in our web store. I'll go ahead and open up that 10th order 1079 that we just placed in the point of sale a couple of minutes ago. And I can see all of those item details as well as the payment information and customer information that we entered at the time of order entry in the point of sale. We see that, okay, Evan ordered the Only Hope soap as well as the Wisdom Wash, and he already completed payment. From here, we simply want to mark that as fulfilled and send that information back out to Shopify so that we have that data fully reconciled. I can simply release this document in my workflow, and it'll flow through any evaluations and automations that need to take place. And in my case, since this document was a walk-in customer, it simply goes into my export queue. Stepping back into Sales Monitor, if I refresh, I see, okay, I have 2 orders in my export queue ready to send that information back out into Shopify. And I can go into my integration where we can use the order update export. Order update export, as I mentioned, can be run on its own custom schedule. And that's going to take a look at any of those documents within the in my case, export queue, but within a defined queue to send out any fulfillment, potentially tracking information, what have you, to update those documents on our web store. I'll go ahead and manually run this component, and it'll take a look at any of those documents within that export queue to send that updated information out into Shopify. Again, I can see it attempted to export 2 documents. Both of those were successful. And if I flip back over into Shopify, keep an eye on order 1076 and 1079. As I refresh, we can see that both of those documents are now marked as fulfilled. And we have essentially closed both of those out on both the Shopify side of things. And from there, we can go through our final invoicing process in our ERP to post those documents. This integration is really going to allow your users to seamlessly manage those orders in both Shopify, whether it's our online store or the point of sale, as well as SalesPad, and allow your workflow to fully take control of each and every one of those documents that are coming from the point of sale or online. The next piece that I want to touch on is the ability to roll out those new products. So if I flip over a tab here, I see online that I have a number of different soaps, everything from my Dark Side Scrub to Wisdom Wash. However, if I flip into SalesPad and take a look at my soap collection, I may notice that I'm missing a couple of those items. With the Shopify integration, I can use our product export to automatically export that information out into Shopify to allow for the seamless rollout of any of our new products. So maybe we come out with new lines of product yearly or a couple times throughout the year. We can run that integration so that there's no need to or enter that in both our ERP and our web store. So I'll go ahead let's specifically call out, in this case, let's keep an eye on the Suds of Darkness. If you notice, that item is not going to be on my online store right now. So as I go into my Shopify integration, I can use the product export and we'll manually run that currently. And that'll export information for those new items into our web store. It'll take a second to run as it's going to evaluate any changes that are made to existing items, as well as the export of those new items. And again, worth mentioning that this can be set on its own custom schedule as well. So if we're doing this, if we want to export this information a couple times a month, a couple times a quarter, we can make that definition. I can see it took just over 30 seconds to run, attempted to export 404, and all 404 of those were successful. If I flip over into my Shopify store, I can see once again, worth mentioning, Suds of Darkness, not a product currently, but as I refresh, my Suds of Darkness product has now been rolled out to my online store. Clicking in, I get not only the SKU, but the description will export as well as the price. Allow us to seamlessly roll those items out online so that we can begin selling those, whether that's via our point of sale or just our online web store. One thing I do notice, however, is the inventory levels for those items didn't export. That's where our inventory level export comes into play. So if I take a quick peek at my inventory levels that are available here within SalesPad, I do notice some discrepancies. This is where, once again, our Shopify integration can come into play, and we can use the inventory level export to keep those numbers up to date so that we're not running out of stock on our web store and keeping everything reconciled between online, point of sale, as well as our ERP. I'll manually run that inventory level export, but I really do want to harp on that ability to set the custom schedule. And once again, it'll go through any changes in our inventory levels, and I get that notification one more time that we were successful attempting each and every one of those exports. One final time, we'll go ahead and flip back over into Shopify. I see right now we have a couple of zeros, some discrepancies from online, but as I refresh here, we see, okay, we were able to automatically update all of those inventory levels based on the values that we have available within SalesPad to really keep a seamless communication between both online, point of sale, and SalesPad and GP. The integration is really going to allow you to seamlessly manage your orders, items, and inventory levels so that you're eliminating any redundant or manual data entry, removing room for error, and just ensuring that all of your information is syncing between the web store, your point of sale, and your ERP. With all of that being said, I'll go ahead and flip over into my slide deck. And I wanted to wrap things up with a success story about our customer, Howie's Hockey Tape, who has been leveraging the Shopify integration to manage their website. Howie's Hockey Tape is based out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and they distribute hockey tape, hockey supplies, and clothing. And they serve almost every single NHL, AHL, NCAA Division I, and major junior hockey team across the world. Their global brand has become a household name for any house that knows and plays hockey. Approximately 25% of Howie's sales orders come through the web store, and SalesPad connects directly to Shopify for order import and inventory syncing for them. They manage to keep their inventory up to date so that what's in the warehouse is accurately reflected on the website. And thanks to the connection between Shopify and SalesPad, Howie's is able to streamline their order fulfillment and more efficiently handle their back orders and orders fulfilled from different locations. The connection also allows them to simplify their reconciliation process with payments being imported from the web store that are tied to the order. Their CFO has said they process between 100 orders per day during off-peak times, all the way up to 700 orders on Black Friday from their Shopify site. As we roll into the holiday season, Howie's is a great example of how SalesPad's connection with Shopify or Adobe Commerce or WooCommerce can help your business more efficiently handle those e-commerce orders. With that, I want to thank everyone for attending today, and I'll go ahead and pass it back over to Elizabeth.
Yeah, thank you so much, Evan. Howie's pretty cool to have Howie's hockey tape just in our backyard. I know they've found so much success recently that they're maybe in the process of or just recently have moved into their brand new headquarters that they were building. So really, really cool to see their growth, and glad to have a hand in that too. So time for Q&A. If you have any questions, use that Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen and go ahead and type it in, but we're going to dive right in. So Evan, with the online store, can each customer have their own login so that when they place an order online, it's imported to SalesPad? Will it be on their like customer card that's already up?
Yeah, so as far as their own login, we'd love to talk more about what you're looking at there. But when it comes to importing those orders, and I didn't go super in-depth into this, but those settings that I talked through briefly, we have the ability to map those orders to either a generic customer card for people who may be managing a number of different customers and aren't as interested in each and every specific customer information. Additionally, we can create a new customer card for any new customers, as well as map those orders for existing customers to the existing customer card. So we can get really granular in how we define that connection, but we'd love to talk more if you're interested.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Evan. Okay, how does the integration help businesses handle the seasonal sales spikes that we know are like right around the corner, so that they maybe don't have to hire a ton of extra staff?
Yeah, really the goal with the integration is to eliminate the need for any redundant data entry. So rekeying of orders, updating inventory levels throughout the day, just allow those employees to assist in other areas of the business. So rather than having to add additional heads, because hey, we have 700 orders this week rather than 100, we have the ability to sync those in on that schedule so that our order managers can go throughout their daily tasks, and then we can have employees focus on other objectives like getting those orders out as soon as possible.
Amazing. What happens if there's an issue with syncing orders? Like, is there a backup or error handling process in place?
Yeah, I'll actually go ahead and flip into SalesPad again really quick to answer that question. And that's where our Action Center comes into play. So the Action Center, as you can see on my screen, I have nothing going on here, which tells me I don't have any errors. But the Action Center is going to give you detail into any errors, what happened, and whether any details into that error that allow us to then take the necessary corrective action and resolve it to get things flowing again. So this Action Center is available right here within the actual Shopify integration. excuse me, as well as if I flip over to my automations tab, there's a dedicated action center window where I can see maybe for other automations, I have a number of different errors. But that action center is going to give us visibility into error and allow for any of that error handling to make sure that things are flowing smoothly.
Great, thanks for covering that. And then does the Shopify integration support the splitting of orders in SalesPad?
Yes. So whether you're fulfilling orders out of multiple different warehouse on one document or you're handling back orders, if you're splitting documents using SalesPad's workflow, we can help you with the Shopify integration as well. So in a case of a back order, we want to get the items that we have on hand out the door as soon as possible. We can flow those through our workflow, export them, while the back ordered item we're waiting for can then be on its own separate document waiting for those goods to come in. So the Shopify integration fully supports the splitting of those orders in SalesPad.
Very good. It looks like Evan, that's going to conclude our questions today. Thank you for that presentation, but most importantly, thank you to all of you for joining us on this Thursday. We'd love for you to join us next month on November 21st for a webinar on workflow and scripting in SalesPad. So Brandon Bullenbach from our implementation team will be joining us. He's been with SalesPad for 11 years, so he always brings a nice perspective. I encourage you to visit our events page at www.cavallo.com/events-schedule. So you'll be able to register for the November webinar there, as well as view the recording of past webinars, including today's recording. If you'd like to explore your organization's specific needs, have any questions that you want to talk about one-on-one, let us know. You can scan this QR code and fill out a short form. Or you can connect with Evan here. He'd love to hear from any of you as attendees. And last but not least, we have a very short survey, just 3 questions at the very end. We'd love your feedback. Once again, we thank you for joining us and we hope you all have a great day. Thanks so much.
Thanks, everyone.